welcome to the deep dive. So the idea here is simple. You bring us source material, could be articles, research, your notes.
Right, basically anything you want us to dig into.
Exactly. And our mission is to dive in, head first and pull out the most important stuff, the key insights, the interesting bits.
Think of it as us guiding you through it, yeah. Helping you see the patterns, the core ideas, and why it all matters.
And for this deep dive, the source is an article called 75 Ways to Boost Your Mood right this very second.
Catchy title.
It is. And let's be honest, life can be, well, it can be a lot sometimes. Some days just get you down, don't they?
Absolutely. You hit a slump, stress piles up, or maybe some bad news just throws you off. Happens to everyone.
Totally. And, while building those good long-term habits is, essential for feeling good overall.
Definitely key for resilience and satisfaction, yeah.
Sometimes you just need something now, a quick fix, a little pick-me-up to shift how you're feeling in the moment.
Exactly that. Not a long-term strategy, just an immediate lift. Something to kind of reset things, even if it's just for a bit.
Which is precisely what this article is aiming for. It lists, and it's a big list, 75 things, simple actions.
Wow, 75.
Yeah. They call them serious pick-me-ups. And the claim is, many take just a few minutes, but can give you that instant mood boost.
So the idea isn't like you have to do all 75 at once.
No, definitely not. It's presented more like a menu. You scan through, see what jumps out at you right then.
Or pick one at random, maybe.
Yeah, or pick randomly, or maybe combine a couple. It's meant to be this accessible toolkit you can grab when you need it.
Okay, makes sense. A toolkit for low moments.
So let's get into it. We should probably explore the kinds of things it suggests, right?
Good plan. Look at the categories, maybe highlight some interesting ones.
Yeah, maybe some surprising ones, and really dig into the why. Why would these small, simple things actually work to change your mood so quickly?
Well, that's the fascinating part, isn't it? The core idea that a small, intentional action can have an immediate effect, physiologically or psychologically.
It really is. They start the list with things like texting an old friend about a funny memory you shared.
Ah, the connection piece.
Yeah, or this one just smiling, even forcing a smile. The article claims it can trick your brain into releasing happy chemicals.
Okay, that's a great example to start with. It connects directly to something called the facial feedback hypothesis.
Facial feedback.
Yeah, the idea is that the physical act of making your face smile, even if you don't feel happy, sends signals back to your brain that can actually influence your emotional state.
Huh. So it's not just mood causing the smile.
Exactly. The smile itself can nudge the mood, your body influencing your mind. It's a two-way street.
Wild. Okay, so that's one example. But with 75 items, there must be a huge range. How can we break this down?
Well, looking through them, you can definitely see some themes emerging. There are actions focused on your physical state, like movement.
Right.
Then there are things that shift your mental focus, mindfulness type stuff.
Okay.
Then there's a big emphasis on connection with others or, the world around you.
Connection. Got it.
And finally, just simple acts of engagement or self-care, doing something pleasant.
Okay, 4 big buckets. Let's start with the physical one. What kind of things are listed there?
Things like quick bursts of movement, doing 25 jumping jacks.
Okay.
Dancing around to a favorite song, doing some quick stretches, or even just going for a brisk walk. Or a drive with the windows down, getting some air.
Right, getting the body moving. They also mention basic stuff like drinking a glass of water or having a healthy snack, even a piece of dark chocolate.
Makes sense. Physical activity, even short bursts, releases endorphins, natural mood lifters.
Ah, endorphins.
Yeah, it gets blood flowing, shifts you out of feeling, sluggish. Research shows even minimal movement can impact mood significantly. Stretching helps release physical tension.
Which holds stress, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And the basics, hydration, stable blood sugar, they're fundamental for just feeling steady and alert. Dark chocolate specifically has compounds that might nudge serotonin production a bit, a small boost.
So it's literally about changing your body's state, its chemistry, to affect how you feel.
Precisely. It's a bottom-up approach, influencing the mind via the body.
Okay, cool. So moving from body to mind.
Yeah.
What about those mental focus shifts you mentioned?
Yeah, there's a lot there too. Things like taking some deep, slow breaths, guided meditation or visualization for a few minutes, listening to calming sounds like nature sounds, or using grounding techniques like the 5-4-3-2-1 method.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Naming things you can see, hear, feel.
Right. It pulls you into the present moment. They also suggest things like a short power nap if you can swing it.
How do these work so quickly?
often by directly engaging your nervous system or just redirecting where your attention is going. Deep breathing, for example, activates the parasympathetic nervous system.
The rest and digest system.
That's the one, the opposite of fight or flight. So it actively calms you down. Grounding pulls you out of, say, worrying about the future or dwelling on the past and plants you firmly here.
Right. Breaks the cycle.
Exactly. And mindfulness practices, like the loving-kindness meditation mentioned in the list, help you observe your thoughts without judgment, which can reduce anxiety.
So where movement changes your body's energy, these techniques are more about calming or refocusing your internal chatter.
Well put. They give you tools to feel a bit more in control of your inner world instead of just being swept along by difficult thoughts or feelings.
Okay. Body, mind. What was the third category? Connection.
Connection, yeah. Reaching out. The list has things like texting a friend, maybe calling a family member you enjoy talking to.
Simple enough.
Giving someone a genuine compliment, or just mentally sending someone positive thoughts or well wishes.
Even just thinking it helps.
Apparently so. It shifts your focus outward positively. They also suggest hugging someone for like 5 or 10 seconds.
A proper hug.
A proper hug, or if you're alone, hugging a pillow tightly.
Hugging a pillow, really.
It sounds a bit funny, but it taps into that need for comfort. Obviously, a real hug releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which lowers stress.
The cuddle hormone.
Right. But even the physical sensation of hugging something soft can provide some comfort when a person isn't available. The other connection things, texting, complimenting, they remind you you're part of a social web.
That makes sense. Combats isolation.
And giving compliments or well wishes, that pro-social behavior, research shows it boosts the giver's mood too. It feels good to be kind.
So you're actively using those social bonding parts of the brain.
You are. Engaging systems that promote safety, belonging, positive feelings.
Okay, what was the last category? Simple engagement or self-care?
Yeah, basically doing something simple and hopefully pleasant or engaging, like watching cute animal videos online.
Always a winner.
Totally. Putting on some upbeat music you love, reading a few pages of a book or a short story, doing a quick brain teaser or puzzle.
Like a Sudoku or something.
Could be, yeah. Or playing with a pet, if you have one. Singing along loudly to a song. Browsing beautiful images, like an online art gallery.
How do these help? Distraction.
Partly distraction, yeah, pulling your mind away from whatever's bringing you down, but also active engagement. Music is incredibly powerful for shifting mood. Singing is physically releasing.
Right, belting it out.
Exactly. Cute animals trigger warmth and positive feelings. Brain teasers engage a different part of your mind. It's about choosing to do something, anything, stimulating or enjoyable.
Makes sense. And I noticed there was also stuff about gratitude and looking forward.
Yes, definitely. Writing down a few things you're grateful for, even tiny things.
The classic but effective.
Very effective. It shifts your perspective.
Yeah.
There's also practicing forgiveness, maybe just deciding to let go of a small grudge, planning something fun for later, like for the weekend, gives you something to anticipate.
Hope, basically.
Yeah, a little bit of hope. And even just jotting down hobbies you might like to try someday. Future-oriented thinking.
They also had some slightly more unusual ones, didn't they? I think I saw something called emotional freedom technique. Tapping.
Ah, EFT, yes. That involves tapping on specific acupressure points on the body while focusing on a negative feeling or issue. The theory is it helps release the emotional intensity associated with it.
Interesting. And writing down a worry and then ripping it up.
That's a great symbolic act. You externalize the worry onto the paper and then you physically destroy it. It can feel quite cathartic, like letting go.
A bit like a ritual.
Kind of, yeah. And laughter yoga was in there too.
Laughter yoga, how does that work?
It's basically exercises designed to make you laugh, even if you start by faking it. The idea is the body gets the physiological benefits of laughter, stress reduction, mood improvement, whether the laugh is initially spontaneous or simulated.
Your body doesn't know the difference?
Not entirely, no. The physical act and sound of laughing can trigger those positive responses regardless.
Wow. Okay, so looking back at all this, smiling, breathing, hugging pillows, tapping, laughing for no reason. What's the main message here? It's such a huge variety.
I think the biggest takeaway is that you actually have quite a bit of agency. Even when you're feeling down, you're not just stuck.
Right, you're not passive.
Exactly. You can't always control external events, but this list shows there are loads of small, accessible things you can try right now to influence your internal state.
It really hammers home that mind-body connection, doesn't it?
It really does. And the power of small, intentional choices, just doing something different.
It feels like having this emergency toolkit for when your mood dips. Now, we should definitely mention, and the article is clear about this too.
Ah, yes, the disclaimer.
Right. This is all for informational and educational purposes. These are tools for, temporary lifts, quick pick-me-ups. They're absolutely not a substitute for professional medical advice or mental health support if you're facing serious or ongoing struggles.
That's a critical point. These are for navigating everyday fluctuations, those moments you feel a bit low or stressed. They aren't treatment for clinical conditions. Professional help is essential for that.
Definitely. Okay, well, this has been really interesting, diving into all these quick ways to potentially shift your mood.
It's quite empowering, isn't it? Seeing the sheer number of options available, many requiring just a few minutes.
It really is. So thinking about this huge list, 75 different ways to potentially influence how you feel right this second. What does that variety tell us? The connection between these tiny choices we make and our overall state of mind. And maybe how can incorporating just one or two of these things regularly, maybe even when you're not feeling down, how might that affect your daily well-being overall?
That's a great question to ponder. Proactive mood management through small habits.
Yeah, definitely something to think about as you go about your day.